I'll send it, basically. The brakes, it ain't on me. I'll smoke the shit out of his tyres now. 2006 Seat Ibiza PD130. I know you're thinking, who cares? No one cares. I suppose Matt does, and I suppose we're doing the video for Matt. But anyway, the idea of this is, it's not a feature, it's not a review, it's a what's coming next. And Matt intends to turn this car into his little track stick. So I'm going to take it out for a quick spin this morning and have a go of it and tell you what I think of it and tell you if I think that a diesel makes a good track car. And then we'll follow the progress and see what it becomes. So here we are, out in a little Ibiza. Now I'll be honest, people do take the piss out of this car. And I'll be honest again, those people are normally me. But it's actually quite a cool little car. Really light, I think it's only about 1100 kilos. And with the modifications that Matty's done to this one, it should be around sort of 180, 190 horsepower, which doesn't sound massive, but then it should be about 350 foot-pounds of torque, which is obviously a fair old amount for a car that doesn't weigh a lot. And I remember when I had the Accelerate boys up here featuring the Skyline on their channel, I was speaking to the big guy, Ken, who got the Evo, and he had the Evo with him that day. And I said, you be careful with that Ibiza of mine. I said, it'll catch you off guard. And that's kind of what this car is about, is catching people off guard. It doesn't really matter what gear you're in or whether you're trying or not. If you stick your foot to the floor, it picks up, and it picks up really quickly. So I'm just going to pull off here, and I'm just going to send it, basically. $80, $90. Yeah, she skips. She really skips. So I've actually raced this car a few times in both the Skyline and in the Saab Aero, and to be fair, although I can beat him in both cars, this one will actually hold its own against them both. I think I've got a little bit of footage of me racing this in the Saab actually, and here it is. So you can see there, I gave Matty the hit, and it did take me a few seconds to claw him back in. But like I said, not bad for what it is. Matty's plans for this car, don't use it, remove it kind of attitude. So all the interior's coming out. He's getting himself a set of lightweight Subaru wheels. I think he wanted 16 inches, but he's not sure if they're going to go over the brakes. The idea with the 16 inches is he can downsize the ratio on the gears, because this thing will do about a 155, and he doesn't need it to be anywhere near that. Then he's going to get some sticky rubber on here, bit of aero, a few other little track mods. But what I think initially he's not going to do is shoot for more power, just because where it is at the minute is super reliable, so he can stuff the guts out of it all day on the track and it shouldn't break. Whereas if he shoots for the 300 horsepower and gets a big old turbo on you, he's got to up the RPMs to probably 6,000, and then he could potentially be asking for more reliability issues. I think the biggest issue with these cars, from what I've seen, is heat and keeping the heat out of them. Obviously diesels, they combust off compression and not ignition, so you get a lot more temperature with that. I think the trick with these is keeping the intake temperatures down, keeping the oil temperature down, and trying to keep it all cool to keep it efficient and reliable. But that's enough talking about what it is he wants to do with it. I think what I'm going to do here is slow down and do myself a little popcorn limiter launch control now. Here we go. It's good fun. The way it produces its torque it's mental, really. I mean, I've never really owned many diesels. I got my little diesel that I plot around in to get back and forth work, but I've never owned a diesel as a main car that I've wanted to modify or enhance or get some performance out of it. So I've always had pretty stock diesels. This thing with all the extra power and the mods and all the extra torque, it's a good laugh. And for a diesel, you know, with the exhaust and the induction and the popcorn limiter, actually sounds really cool as well. You don't need to rev it at all. I mean, if you just swap gears about 2,500, 3,000 RPM, it doesn't affect the performance whatsoever. Whether you rev it to 5,000 RPM or 3,000 RPM, it just doesn't matter because it's got such a wide torque band. It's always kind of making this peak power and this peak efficiency, so you just don't need to rev the nuts off it. It's crazy. So I think the idea is now, over Christmas and into the new year, is Matt's going to get this thing track ready, doing the things we've already spoken about. And I'm getting there with the Saab. You know, I've still got some aero to do. I need to remove the sunroof, get some sticky tyres on there. And we've got a mate of ours, Dean, who drives a bright green Turbo Fiesta. He's doing some work on that currently, but that's his track car. And we're hoping early next year that the three of us are going to book a full day on track. We're going to take all three of them down to Castle Combe and we're going to stuff the guts into them. So if you've already been following the progress on the Saab, that's awesome. What I'll do now is I'll start giving you incremental updates on the Ibiza and where that is along in its build. And if Matt records some footage, I'll perhaps make some short videos and get them up on the channel so you can follow along with this as well. What you could also do is, Matty keeps all his videos stored on his own YouTube channel. It's not really a YouTube channel in the sense that he's creating content for people, but he likes to keep all his own stuff there. And I'll put a link in the description. It's as simple as Matty. You search that on YouTube, you'll find it. And he's going to start uploading a bit more footage. So you can always follow along on his YouTube if you wanted. So there it is. Soon to be a little track weapon. Let me know what you think about it. Do you think it's something that could do quite well on track? Or do you think he's a idiot? Most of us think the latter. But hey, let us know. That's going to do it for this quick episode. If you fancy watching the Ibiza on track, click up there, you can have a look. Other than that, why not check out my Road to 500 series, in which I'm stripping down and rebuilding the engine on my Skyline. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Matt, he drives an old lady's car, old lady's car, old lady's car.